Morning, welcome to Morning Live.
Hi, so nice to be here.
Talk to us about We Are Europe. I mean, what was this project about?
I am so passionate and excited about this project. It's really about how there are over 1 billion people living in the world in informal settlements, and how we try to come up with solutions for how to deal with these informal settlements, and how there needs to be a new solution. The way we have been doing it hasn't worked, and how we need to reconsider the way we deal with informal settlements.
What for you was the highlight of being part of this competition and winning this competition?
I think really the exposure that it's getting for informal settlements. And obviously this is a really prestigious award, so I'm very, very happy to have won this.
Talk to us about the significance of the title though, We Are Europe. Why is that so significant?
So what I did is I worked in a community in Cape Town, an informal settlement of about 7,000 people called Europe. And it's called Europe because it's so close to the airport. And the really amazing people who I grew to love in this community called the settlement Europe because they had aspirations of better things. They lived close to the airport and they saw the planes taking off, and they saw Europe, and they felt that if they moved closer to the city, they could achieve greatness. They really want to stay on this site. Mm-hmm. And they really are passionate about their home. And when I spoke to one of the elders in the community, he told me that what he most wanted me to tell through my thesis was to tell the story of their community, to say that they were Europe. Mm-hmm. So I did this in quite an unusual way. I had a look at how we look at informality, and I said that there's actually parallels between the way that informal settlements develop over time and are built by people, and the way that European medieval cities were built by people over time, and how we really value what is European, and how we can take that same value and same importance and place it to something that we don't generally think about in our cities, informal settlements. How
can modern day architecture correct problems that are as a result of our past and its building structures?
I think I'm going to answer in an unusual way. I think teamwork. What I learned most about this thesis was working with the people in the community, and with my supervisors, especially Julian Raxworthy, and other people in NGOs, and coming together to bring lots of different thinking.
I mean, seeing that you were competing with many other architecture students, what do you think set your project apart from the rest?
I think in this, where we stand at the moment, there's a real consciousness, a social consciousness about how we move forward in South Africa as architects. And I hope that my thesis started to put forward ways of dealing with inequalities in South Africa.
I mean, and the run-up in your part of the competition, Wallace Hannibal also presented a very interesting project titled ERF 217. I mean, the company's garden. What were your thoughts on that?
I absolutely loved his project. And he dealt with this really significant historical part of the city, almost the heart of Cape Town and South Africa, the company's gardens, and looked at historically how you could deal with a maintenance plan to keep the importance of this living monument alive. I thought it was spectacular.
There was a time when South African architecture, or the world of architecture, was moving towards green. I think that was last year, if not 2 years ago. Where are we now, South African architecture or the world in general? Where are we now?
I think we're all starting to realize that if you're not sustainable, your projects are going to fail. Mm. We all have a responsibility, if not to build green, but to look into the future. One thing I also learned from my thesis was to think in systems. Mm-hmm. So not necessarily adding a green roof only, but looking at how ecology works as a whole. And I must say that is one thing that landscape architecture in particular, as a branch of architecture, has taught me, to look at the way things work together and come together in complex but significant ways.
All right. Amy, thank you so much for talking to us. Congratulations again on
Thank
your award.
you.
Amy Thompson is now
Thank
a
you very,
UCT
very much.
Architecture graduate and the 2015 title holder for the Corobrig Most Innovative Final Year Landscape Architecture Project Award. Her project, titled We Are Europe, is what earned her that accolade. Amy was joining us from our Sea Point studios. Let's take